Hi, let's pick up where we left off yesterday. I was trying to understand why I couldn't save the image to the correct disk, actually, to the correct folder. Um, I thought I was saving it in the wrong place because when I looked at the public directory and the images, I had a sponsors folder, and I thought that the sponsor images were supposed to go to that folder. But actually, after looking at the Laravel's live website, and if you go to the sponsor section, the sponsors are being saved. Let me open on a new tab. The sponsors are being saved directly on the storage folder, so they aren't going to the images and then sponsors. So our test was showing that this was actually the correct place to store those images. So that's one thing that we got out of the way. Another one is that yeah, I've tested it after doing a little change, and I found out what the problem was with creating an unpublished sponsor. So the first thing that I'll do is change this message, because since we're using data sets with best, it doesn't make sense to it can create unpublished sponsor and can create published sponsor. I think that I'll call it can create sponsors. I don't know, I'm unsure if I should specify that I can create them both published and unpublished. Maybe we can create sponsor with different statuses, but I'm not sure if using the status, God, naming is so different. So, not different, difficult. So, can create sponsors, published or not. If you do have a suggestion for a better name for this, please let me know. And by the way, what was happening is that all sponsors were being created. Let me see if I can come back here and show you the test that failed. All sponsors, yeah, were being created as published. Why? Because that's the default for the database for that column. So we have, I can show you there. The best place to go is to the migrations. So database migrations and sponsors add unpublished column. So the default value for the published column is 1. So when we are not passing a value, in this case 0, it will be 1. So since I had some problems with my Git on another project, so this is actually a new project that I've created, and I've migrated the files over to this one. And what happened is that I forgot to actually include the input for the published for the published value. And now, sorry, my cat was doing some noise. Now, if we run this test again, I will just show you what happens. It will run just like, it will pass, just like this one passed previously. I tested this yesterday. I actually, to try and figure out what was happening, I actually opened the website on a browser, and I saw that we didn't have any field for publishing or unpublishing a sponsor. Oh my God. I've just realized that I wasn't showing you my screen. Okay, so let me go back quickly and I won't bother you with everything. So I just changed the name of this test so it makes more sense, because we are using past data sets and we are passing the values that we want to use with the published input. So we are testing published being 1 and published being 0. And on the sponsor Nova resource, I forgot to include the published input. And that's what's happening here. Oh, and I also was showing you what led me to the wrong conclusion of the place where I was supposed to store the image file. I was thinking, since I had this directory here in public images sponsors, that the sponsor images were supposed to go there after we create a sponsor. But actually, let me grab that back. After looking at a sponsor on the Larabelles live website, I can see that it's only on the storage directory, so no subdirectories, and the test was correct. Now, sorry, moving on. Our test passed, so we can now create a published and unpublished author, sponsor, and now we'll remove that first test. It was being skipped, and we can delete that because we are using the datasets, and we've just finished. Yeah, no, no. I've just shared my screen now. I wasn't aware of it, that I wasn't showing my screen at first. And hi, Nuno and Francisco. And with this, I've just finished to test the create sponsors function, and we'll be doing the same thing with the edit. It's pretty much the same thing. The main difference is that we'll first create a sponsor, and then we'll try and not post, but let's see. It's patch probably. We'll just change the verb, and it will be the same thing. So I'll actually just copy what we have here. We'll be using datasets again. So we'll be doing something a little cool. We'll try and create a published author and then unpublish it, and then do it the other way around. Create an unpublished author, oh god, sponsor, and then publish it. And we can pass the published flag right away. Now, what's different here? I'll create a sponsor directly. Sponsor. I don't think I have a factory for this yet. Sponsor, factory, create. Let me see if we already have a factory for sponsor. Nope, I don't think so. Sponsor factory. No, let's make one quickly. PHP artisan make factory sponsor. And the shortcut to close the terminal is Shift Escape. So yesterday I was hitting the wrong keys. So sponsor factory. And now let's take just a quick look at the user factory, or another one, so that we can see how to create one. It's just to set the field and use the data that you want. So sponsor factory will actually copy what we have from our test, and new sponsor, yeah, it's fine. URL, it's a fake URL. Let me just check if I went with the property or the function. I think that one of them was actually deprecated, but I might be wrong. Published, we'll go with one as default for the factory. In the image file, god, this one always leaves me thinking. I mean, I think I can. This one leaves me a little confused. It's not the first time, but I don't remember how I got around and fix this. How to create a factory for a resource that takes an image. Let's try and Google that quickly. Damn, I always hit a wall in these lives. I was just hoping that this one would finally go smoothly for once. Laravel factories with files. Let me Laravel factory file. I don't think this is faking file in the factory not working. So yeah, this might be a tip on how to handle this. I'm developing a web application using Laravel. I'm unit testing my application, and that involves the file operation and the factory. Okay, path faker file. Okay, we can do that instead of creating a fake file upload. I'm just thinking if this will return an URL for it to be saved. And when I'm running the test, the error says that file does not exist. Let's try this quickly to see what happens. So fake file. Let's see what we have just using this. Let's go back to our sponsors test and let's DD our sponsor to see if it actually was created. And let's run the test and let's see what we have as our sponsor. We have an error that the directory temp does not exist or is not a directory. And I think that this is because of, yes, the file. It is because of the file. Let's just see what Laravel documentation has for the faker. I don't think fake. Helpers, fake. I think this is it. And I'm looking to see how to call that fake file to see if I need to pass something. Let's go to the faker website. Faker and the formatters available for file. What do we need to pass it? Copy a random file from the source directory to the target directory and return the file name. So let me try and pass on like that question had, oops, wrong place. That question was doing on Stack Overflow. It was actually passing, I think, a file. Oh, and actually, I think we got the same error. So we'll go with the, let's maybe create a test file in our test directory. New file. It should be an image. So test image. I'm hoping that we won't have a problem with the encoding. Otherwise, I'll just create an image. Yeah. Let's go with, I forgot the name. It's place. Oh, let's try kitten placeholder. Let's make this fun. Instead of getting a blank placeholder, place kitten. Yes, I was pretty sure that this existed. Let's go with a little image, something smaller so it doesn't take that much space. 50 by 50. Oh, that's a tiny little kitten. Let's save this image and we'll use this then for our project. I'll just go and save this on the testing folder. Tests, yep, in the right place. And call it. Let's see if I get the directory correct. So I think we have a test path. Nope. Let's see Laravel helpers for the URLs. Where is the Laravel website? I just closed it. Laravel path helpers. Hi, Ricardo. Thank you. Let's see what helpers we have for paths. We have app base config Laravel. Okay, let's go with the app path. Oh, sorry, not app. The root. I'm looking for the root of the base path. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. So base path, and then we'll go to the tests directory, and it's the 50.jpg file, and let's try and run this now. We still have the DD in place. Yes. Hopefully after going over this little bump in the road, we'll be able to move on smoothly. So we have a problem again, and I think I just need to pass on the dash going the other way, you know, Windows and Linux dashes. And it failed again. Let's see what happens. Does not exist or is not a directory. So Laragon, www, Larabelles, tests 50. I think I'm using the correct path. So it's, let me close this. The root, tests, and then 50. Let me try and drag this to see if, yep, root tests 50. Let me try and copy this just for the sake of it. Maybe I need to, yeah, pass on another dash before. Let's try and run it again. And it failed again. Why? So I don't think I needed to add this dash. Oh God. I hate when I'm tinkering with directories in places for the files. Does not exist or isn't. Is it expecting it to be a directory? So I think copy a random file from source directory, okay, to the target directory and return the file name. So maybe it's the, let me try and see if I can open the documentation for this. Source directory, okay, target directory, okay, full path. The thing is, I really didn't want to copy this. Oh, my alarm is going on already. Image, let's go with image. And get a random image from placeholder.com. Okay, just for the sake of being brief, I'll go with this. It's usually not a best practice to call an outside service to run your tests because it can drag down and they can fail if the service is not working. But for the sake of brevity, I'm not sure that's even an English word. Let's go with this and try run our test. Okay, we have a sponsor created on the database. Let's just make sure that, how do we check the database with an exception? That's not an exception, expectation. My English is all over the place today. Let's see. Can we check the database with an expectation? Maybe not. Let's try assert database has. So test database. Oh, and it's failing on me. Database has, I think it's a PHP unit thing. So PHP unit insert. I just want to get the correct name. Database has. Great, it's on the Laravel documentation. Yes, assert database has. Let me just check out the how to pass in the variables. Okay, this is it, and we can use test instead of this. So we'll just do a quick check to see if our database has a sponsor with the company that matches our sponsor variable company. Got company. Yep. And why is this avatars public? I think it was because I just copied it straight from Laravel documentation. Public. Yep. And now we have a sponsor. We'll just test if the database has it. So to make sure that it was stored in the database. And we actually don't need to change the image. We just want to change the published variable, and storage fake is public. We can remove this too. And then we'll be testing if I, as a logged in user, can, it won't be post, but it will be to this URL. And let's just change the published. And we can go with, so our sponsor is being created as published. And we'll go with changing it to published once and then unpublished again. Okay, let's try and make this simple. Run this once and then go and do that quick spin. And also in the expect, we won't be changing. Actually, we can leave this, but we don't have the values. You have them from here. We can pass in the company just to make sure that no other fields were changed. Company, sponsor URL. We'll have our variable there. Sponsor image file. And the sponsor type. Let me just, what the hell? Just run this, and I'll then have to run myself. And I'll just do a quick wrap up of what we've been doing here, and then I'll need to quickly move on and the stream. So we have an error. No such table sponsor because it's not sponsor, it's sponsors. But we can see that the factory is working now. Our little workers are doing their thing. Let's see where this test gets us. Okay, errors. I wasn't hoping for this too. Okay, so okay, that makes sense. We are trying with this endpoint. We are trying to create a new sponsor, and we are just setting the published. We'll need to edit the sponsor that we already have, so that test makes sense. And yes, we are creating a sponsor. We are storing it to the database. Oops, sorry. And next, we'll have to grab that sponsor and edit it to continue our test, but everything is looking great. And thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. Bye.